Doctor Who, Season 12, Episode 7. Can you hear me?
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't see it as lectury this time.
Well, just the
There was
general thing about. Well, there was less direct, like, talking to the camera. It wasn't Orphan 55 sort of lectury, but it was like, here's another here's another thing we need to talk about right today. It's like, I understand. You want to talk about things that your positions on things and
okay.
well, not positions like this is. It's not a position, but more an you know. Not everything has to be so serious. Like almost everything these two seasons have had something serious behind it. It's like it's got to have some modern day anchoring point. It's got to have something we got to talk about. This is an issue I want to talk about. This is an issue I want to talk about. This is an issue I want to talk about. It's like we can have an episode without an issue to talk about. Just like in that sort of vein, lectury. But other than that, yeah, there's not as much just direct Orphan 55 style, but it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't Orphan 55 lecturing, but it was sort of. It still got that.
It did.
This is our message. This is our message. This is our message.
Yeah.
Dream Lord did it better. Well, not in the same way, but like it didn't cover mental health, but it was a better Dream episode. But and that
I liked it, but honestly, it wasn't the best one of the season. But at the same time, it was definitely not the worst, and it was still good. It wasn't like
I'm just so fatigued with everything has to be so damn serious. Everything has to be a freaking social commentary. It's like, you can have social commentary. Who does that a lot? That's fine, but not every fucking episode needs to be freaking. Needs to be a freaking lecture. It's like, can we just have fun? Is that so much to ask?
Yeah, fun.
Like, I mean.
Although, can I say, this is what would happen if instead of Jean Grey, Aurora Monroe ended up with the Dark Phoenix.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, Storm.
Oh, Storm.
From X-Men. If Storm ended up with the Dark Phoenix instead of Jean Grey. That's what it looked like. I mean, I haven't seen the movie Phoenix, so I have no idea about I have honestly not seen an X-Men movie since the reboot. The last X-Men movie I've seen was Wolverine Origins. I think you know why. I lost all faith in X-Men after that.
I didn't really think it was that bad of a movie.
Huh?
I didn't really think it was that bad of a movie, other than Deadpool at the end.
But in the after credits sequence for, was it Deadpool 2? He fixed it.
Went back in time and undid
it. Which that had to be such a cathartic moment for Reynolds. It's like,
yes.
That was stupid.
Like, yes. I bet he added that. I bet he did that entire storyline just to get that scene undone.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's like, all right, this movie, we're going to undo Wolverine Origins. Now, how the fuck are we going to do this?
But
I know, let's involve time travel. Ooh, time travel. Let's bring in Cable. And all the pieces fell into place from there.
Yeah. But like, and just, I don't know. I think so. A lot of my sort of things that are depressing my rankings, my ratings of these things is just fatigue from commentary. It's like I don't need
Yeah.
commentary in everyone. I don't need you to be woke in everyone. You know, give me a fun episode. Just have fun.
Well, it's not even so much. I don't really have a problem with the social commentary aspect, but I think at least this episode didn't take place wholly on Earth. They did that.
Technically, you're right. Yes.
There is that.
But yeah, I just
I've just like honestly, I'm still salty about them getting rid of Unit.
yeah, that's
And I am still salty about the fact that they're trying to erase like the entire history of Who It Feels Like. Every time they bring in a classic monster or a monster, something from from the past, they're retconning the fuck out of it.
yeah, they don't
Even the
they
June, which I love that episode and all, but the Jadoon, they made even more of dicks than they ever were.
yeah. Eh,
They're just like, we need to make the Jadoon a villain just so that we can fit it in there and we can have her talk about Jadoon on the moon, by the moon or whatever.
Lagoon.
And
It's more of a canal, but
yeah, exactly. It's like and then the Daleks in the episode where they destroyed it, where they like canceled Unit because they're dicks. Although I did incorporate that in my new headcanon about it, which I will tell in a minute. But I mean, even the Daleks there with like, oh, he rebuilt himself and then he built a new thing, and it's because he was a new scout, but he was in the past, and I'm like, oh my god. Daleks can be killed just like anybody else, anything else. If you get him out of their shell, which he was out of his shell, why didn't you just kill him? It's like they're just trying to fuck over classic Who It Feels Like.
yeah, well, they just it's this. We don't like how it was, so it had too many white men in it. So we've gotta take everything that was and scrape all the old stuff off and throw it in the trash, and then remake everything in our own image. It's like,
Yeah, it's like I am totally cool with with like, yay, girl power and yay, POC, but make it believable.
well, and don't
Like,
make them tokens. Just
my problem with the Martha Jones era was, Martha Jones is a companion, not Martha Jones herself, because she was amazing in Torchwood. She was amazing, like when she wasn't a companion. When when she had joined Unit instead, she was great. But as a companion, they just made her a POC piece. Like, hey, we got a black girl on here. Yeah, no. Phil, they did so much better with.
well, and the thing is, yeah, it's not about not having a woman doctor or not having a black doctor. I don't care. Just a good
It
doctor and good writing.
exactly.
Because
It's the
Joe Martin
writing.
did actually, if they had better writing and Joe Martin to begin with, I would have been fine with it. Because she actually seems to have a personality and can actually act. But if they had better writing and directing, and had somebody with a personality like Joe Martin and had fewer companions, they could
They
have
have
done something, but they
yeah,
just can't.
they have been giving the Doctor more personality in this season, because last season they just made her too flat. And I'm like, and now they're trying to build up to it. And I mean, I actually really appreciated the end of this episode, because I understand the feeling so much, where it's like, I know I need to say something, but I don't really have anything to say to that.
But
And
it's still
that,
doctor. The doctor's never like doctor's a motor mouth, and even under
Well,
they still have something to say. Like it wouldn't like you know she's
no,
not
not
12. Like 12, if that had been happened under 12, it would have been a bit much, but it would have been okay. But she's supposed to be, a little.
okay. I am a motor mouth too sometimes, and I do have times where it's like, wow, that was really serious. I do not know what to say. That's not going to come off as either completely insincere, completely dickish, or completely awkward. So I'm just going to go over here now.
Well, that's even worse than just being awkward. Like just trying to say something nice and it being a little awkward. It's like, just
No,
walking
there's
over. It's like you
times
can't
where
say at least. Well, I can't tell you. You know, this is
she
one of
did.
those
Like,
times where.
she did. She's like, I know I should say something, but I don't know what that is. So I'm going to go over here and think of something, and then I'll get back to you later.
And she doesn't. Or at least
Well,
we never.
no, because she also has severe ADD.
But yeah, it's like. Yeah, it just. Whatever. It's.
They did also give Yaz some personality and some backstory.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know. It's. I don't know. It's still not great. Like
Well, like I said,
I still say way too many companions in the box. And
yeah,
and Yaz is a little too little, a little too late. Like, and when have we seen this sort of part of her personality before?
Rosa. They
Hmm.
discussed when they were hidden behind the rubbish bins.
I don't remember it enough, so I've blocked it from my mind, so I don't remember that. But
I actually liked Rosa. I
yeah,
liked that episode.
it was a really cheap ending. But
It was. I didn't say I loved the ending.
mm,
I thought the way they finished the bad guy was pretty rushed and just killed a otherwise great episode.
but and apparently a turkey has entered the chat. Oh wait, it's just Madrock.
He's always been in Turkey. That's not,
But
well, since we have time, I was able to incorporate the whole unit being shut down in the UK with Jake being Sam because unit was all activities for unit was suspended in the UK, but Sam is still an international liaison, so he can work wherever the fuck he wants, basically, as long as he's sent there. The regional command found out that there is a new, not exactly auctioneer style, but a new black market for alien tech working in the UK. So he went undercover as a cop on sabbatical, because a hot-headed cop probably would make a better thing than a soldier. And he met Adam while he was undercover, and so he couldn't tell Adam his cover because Adam possibly was incorporated with them, not as part of it, but he was tertiarily connected.
or Adam
And
was part of Unit as well. he was he was the
no,
he was deeper undercover than he was, and so
no, I don't think so, because there was too much. I've rewatched the episode. There was too much emotion behind their reunion for it to be just, you know, cover story. Although, I mean, they could have both been unit soldiers and fallen in love and stuff, but I don't know if that's...
Or just good actors, one or the other. It's just the time crunch is a little much, but whatever.
The what?
I would think the time crunch, if we consider like when the unit audios come out as around when they're actually happening for the most
Well,
part.
they've only been married for like a year in the episode.
But
I mean,
that still says 2 years, probably to meet, fall in love, and then eventually decide to get married, and then get married. That's going to take another few months to plan it, and then and then actually have the year of marriage as well. So, but anyway, it just seemed like the time crunch was a little much, but whatever. But getting back to Can You Hear Me?
Well, you hear me or see me?
I think it was Can You Hear Me was the name of the episode.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to the titles because I avoid the titles because they tend to be spoilerific.
They haven't been that bad this season? Not really.
Well, I mean, Prisoner of the Jadoon told you they had Jadoon in it.
Yeah, but that tells you, other than that, all it tells you that there's Jadoon involved. It's like, okay, well, there's gonna be Jadoon involved.
Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. It's like, it has Nikola Tesla, but I mean,
yeah,
obviously
it tells you
that...
nothing else. It tells you something that's in there, but yeah, it's Can You Hear Me? It tells you something about it, but not enough to make you go, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's like, okay.
Let's see.
Surprisingly, I didn't have a lot to say about this. You don't seem to have a lot to say about this episode. It's just...
Let's see. So
I thought it had a good... It brought the message they were trying to send to light in a pretty decent, respectful way while incorporating it within the story and not being preachy. But I do think it's still a little tired that they have all these dark episodes without any... The only humor in the episode is the doctor being a goofball.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. There aren't any light, airy, fun episodes. There's no like, what was the school reunion or anything like that, or what was that one? Smith and Jones, where they just like, or the adipose one, whatever that one was called.
Yeah,
Partners
you could. Yeah, you can have. There's just. You can have, like I was saying earlier, you can have these episodes, and that's fine. Doctor Who has a history of having occasional, very special episodes. That sort of...
Well, they aren't even that occasional. They just tend to incorporate the message more subtly. They aren't slapping you in the face with it.
Yeah, and just the commentary, whether it's subtle or hits you over the head with like a sack of hammers, just the number of them that have it in any given season, is, it's vastly more, and there's probably been more in these last 2 seasons than maybe the last 2 Doctors put together, in that, there's just, it's like, you can have fun. You don't have to use this as a constant platform for it. Have fun. Have a funny episode. Have something funny happen. You know, just the Jadoon was fine, and like it was fine until it's like, oh yeah, we're going to completely destroy this episode. Like it's like you start with some interesting concepts for an episode in some of them, and then you just absolutely flop on the execution, and especially the endings. And like the Joe Martin Doctor was just like I said when we talked about the Jadoon episode. If that had been anybody else, literally anybody else, and the TARDIS hadn't looked like a TARDIS, it had been like one of those it had been a rock or something where it looked like a that instead of a blue box, you know and she'd been the Ronnie or any of the other Time Lords that we really haven't seen much of any since the revival. If it had been any of those, that episode becomes pretty
Perfect.
fantastic. Because then you
Yeah.
can have them come along and you can have them see each other on a regular basis. Like they can come back and you can run into them in different points in time. And that would be fun. It's like, because we don't have many Time Lords that we run into on a regular basis. It's the
I
Doctor,
saw,
it's the Master, and occasionally Rassilon. That's
yeah.
basically it.
I saw a great meme. I mean, not it's the meme itself isn't great. It's that one where it's that anime character and it's like, is this? And then insert thing and there's a butterfly or whatever, and underneath they write the topic. And
Yeah.
it's like Doctor Who fans, whenever a new mysterious Time Lord appears, is this the Ronnie? And I'm like, it's so freaking true. We want the Ronnie back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a big attachment to the Ronnie, but it would be at least interesting to see a Time Lord that's not the Doctor or the Master. The Doctor or his antithesis. It's like
It's
somebody
like,
who is on a different axis than those two.
it's not Darkwing or Negaduck. It's like Gizmoduck for once.
Yeah, give us Gizmoduck. Give us Mark Beaks. It's like
Morgana. Morgana was awesome.
yeah, you have all these great characters from the past that you could bring back.
I'm gonna be right back.
But yeah, we're talking less and less about the episode itself because there's not a lot to talk about.
Let me see. I gotta find something to complain about. The doctor really isn't a people person. It's like, yeah, I'm afraid the cancer might be coming back or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna go over here now.
Yeah. But it's so. I just.
Now, I kind of wonder something about the reincarnations or whatever, the regenerations of the Doctor. So I know that she has like all the memories from the previous Doctors, right?
Yes.
No, that's already there. But are they memories like she has lived them, or memories like she watched it from like a TV show or something?
It's I'm literally him. That was that whole point of the 11th Doctor making the
I know.
call.
It's just that each time it changes, it has like a complete different personality. You would think the personality would be the same.
Well, that's part of the regeneration is that the personality changes. Now, it's sort of it's a bit like aiming a shotgun with a single pellet. You can point it at a general direction and you can fire that little pellet, but it'll land somewhere in the general vicinity of that, of where you aimed, but it's not ever going to be someplace you can really pinpoint. It's not going to be exactly like it's it's roughly the same. It has the same sort of core to it, but it doesn't retain. It's not exactly the same. Like,
What are we talking about?
oh, he was talking about regenerations, and it's like if the doctor keeps memories between regenerations, whether it's more of a I remember it as if I lived it, or if I watched a TV show about it. And I was saying, like, the whole point of Eleven's call to Clara after regeneration was to, say, that's me. That's literally me. And I was also explaining that regeneration is, like, it generally keeps the same kind of personality, but it's like loading a shotgun with a single small little pellet and firing it. Like, it's going to go in the general direction that that you aim, but it's probably not going to hit in the exact same place twice. You can fire that shotgun 13 times and you're going to get different results every time. Yeah, they may be close. Some of them may be closer than others to it, but it's all going to be around the same thing, but not exactly the same thing. And lately, they try and sort of, to a certain extent, they try and flip things somewhat. Like they'll take one and then they'll flip the personality and sort of where this one was deficient, this one will be too much in that direction, and they adjust it. But in universe, its regeneration is a bit of a lottery with personality to a certain extent. It'll stay the same. The core will be the same, but they'll change a bit. They'll be around it, but not exactly it. But
so evil, immortal people want to rule the world. You know what they reminded me of? They remind me of the Collector from the Marvel series.
Who? The pair of them?
No, mostly the bald guy.
Not really. You know who he reminded me of?
He reminded me of Morpheus from the Extreme Ghostbusters.
I'm more talking about the Collector from the comic books, not from the movies.
I can't read the comic books.
Yeah, I know.
But no, he reminded me of Morpheus from the Extreme Ghostbusters, who, you probably have never seen the episode, but he would creep into people's dreams via these weird little amoeba-looking creatures that connected to your head and fed on your dreams that he would potentially turn into nightmares. And he actually was a bald, creepy-looking guy who appeared in everybody's dreams. And he would manifest your dreams into reality.
What am I
So
about?
that, Eduardo dreamt he had went bald, and so he actually woke up with his hair falling out, and Garrett had dreamt he was, being beaten around, and he woke up with actual bruises, stuff like that. Although the manifestation was caused by listening to this really, well, he was supposed to be kind of a Howard Stern type character, this radio personality who was always like talking shit and stuff. And listening to him while you slept caused the little amoebas to manifest and turn your dreams into nightmares. And they eventually all coalesced into Morpheus, and, well, he is completely in our world now, which means he's completely ecto. We can bust him.
But the fingers were weird, but
The fingers were weird. Like, seriously, WTF.
Flying sausage fingers, go!
First time they showed the ear thing, I'm like, what Willy time? What up? From the third Ninja Turtle movie. It's what Willy time, Mo? What up?
all I can think of is if somebody like these, he can be defeated by wearing headphones.
Yeah.
This villain can be defeated by wearing headphones or earmuffs or anything that covers the ears. Earplugs probably not enough, but headphones or earmuffs would be enough to, would be enough to block it. It's like, take off the headphones. No.
Just have to say something out. Is it me, or is the security on the TARDIS starting to suck?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I can at least count at least 2, maybe 3 times that somebody's broken into the TARDIS,
Yeah,
or at least close to it.
That's kind of supposed to be one of the TARDIS's great advantages, is it's basically it's nigh impenetrable. That's one of its, the whole hordes of Genghis Khan couldn't get through those doors, and believe me, they've tried.
Yeah, so it's like, what the hell?
Well, maybe the TARDIS's shield is like a hymen, and now that something got in, anything can get it. TARDIS became a slut. But yeah, that's the guy
Yeah, you linked it in the chat, but this is actually an episode. I don't have a whole lot to say. I mean,
yeah. I guess
there's not really much to talk about. There's the little moment at the end. There's sort of my ongoing sort of annoyance with every episode being commentary, and the weird finger thing. But I mean, I'll give them credit. It's rare that they actually. It's a good trick, and you can only use it so often. But using the Doctor against the Doctor, is a good trick. It's a plot one I do enjoy. Just it was done by anybody else. Because the Doctor's so prideful and so smart. It's like, okay, you're so smart. All right, I'm gonna put a puzzle in your way that I can't do, but I'd like you to take care of for me. So I'm gonna say that locks down. That's what's keeping your companions held hostage. You can't pick that lock. You pick the lock for me. I get what I want. And then, I do whatever I want because now I got what I want. I just leave. I don't care about your companions or you or anything. I just got I got you to do what I wanted, and then I can run.
Yeah, I can't figure out why he always made all his fingers detached when just going after one person.
In case he missed.
Maybe it's kind of like sperm, where they each are trying to get to the thing first, whichever one lands first.
Seems like he can control the fingers, so I think just one would do it. Just have it, combing.
I don't know. It's
Maybe the fingers were going after other ears.
Just don't give me a wet willy, okay?
I think it was more of a dry willy,
Yeah.
which sounds even more painful.
Well, enough of that.
It's probably also just for a matter of creep factor. You know,
Yeah.
so one finger doing it wouldn't look as creepy, but if you went with all
Yeah.
five, it's like, oh, that looks creepy. Or maybe it's like he has to, like, it's one of those things like in you know, in sort of a video game where they have unlimited ammo, but you have to reload, and so like firing those last two shots reloads everything. So if he fired just one, he'd have to fire the rest of them before he could get all his fingers back. They all
Maybe.
regenerate on empty. Like if they all go away, it reloads, but if only one of them goes away, it doesn't. I don't know. Weird rules, but so to get a full grip of fingers again, he just like, I'll send them all out so I don't have to be missing my index finger.
Yeah, that was a fine episode, I guess.
Eh. But anyway, if that's all we have to say about it, I don't think we had as much to say about it this week because it really wasn't much to talk about.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.